Welcome to Right to the Point. I'm the guest host. My name is the Reverend Carl Lashley from the People's Community Baptist Church located in Silver Spring, Maryland. It is my distinguished honor today to introduce the spiritual head of the United Nation of Islam, His Honor, ROYALL. It is a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'd like to begin with a statement. In our universe, we are taught that to every living organism, there is a cell, and that the center part of that cell is a nucleus. And I want to begin to understand today, or to begin our conversation with a bit of an understanding of who you are. And I want to direct my questions in that light toward the man known as ROYALL. Who are you, sir?
Well, based on what you laid out, I'm the nucleus of that which is to be right, new, the righteous kingdom, the builder. I'm the nucleus of that, and from that will be magnified on out to everyone that wants it. That's who I actually am now. As far as what the spiritual community or religious community, how they see things, I'm the one that everybody's expecting to come, although they don't believe it. So, in essence, that's who I really am.
Tell me about your beginnings. Where were you born, and what was the nature of your family? What was that like?
Well, you know, well, to answer the question, where I was born is in Winnsboro, South Carolina, okay, not too far from Charlotte, North Carolina. However, a person that is actually a divine person, or is ordained by the Supreme Being to do a particular thing, it is very difficult for him to point to, or her to point to, a father and mother in the sense of a normal life expectancy of parents, simply because the duties that he has to perform cannot be contributed to his parents. So I know I have parents. I didn't meet my mother for a while. I saw my biological father once for about 10 minutes. By that time, I was already 18 years old. So that's the process of how things usually go when someone is has a divine mission to carry out. In other words, they're like free of any attachments to anything other than the duties that they're here to do or perform. So I know my mother's name and my father, but as far as having any dedication, any loyalty, any real remembrance of them, there isn't. It don't exist. I almost fit the description of Joshua, the son of Nun. You know, I already got the spirit, so.
Right. Any siblings growing up?
Yes, sir. I have a twin sister. I have a couple other brothers also, and I had another sister. And for the lack of knowledge, she passed, I think, about 19 years old. Okay. But even those, even knowing of them, there were no relationship. I have a brother that's the older in the family, and he's an elder in the house of prayer. Okay. I don't know him either. You know, we visit, we used to, but as far as having a family tie where there's real relationships and real experiences, and we grew up together, that only happened with my twin sister. Okay. And that's about it as far as family is concerned.
Tell me what your upbringing, your childhood was like. What kind of experiences, looking back or reflecting over your own life here, what stands out for you, particularly in your childhood?
Working with nature, working on a farm, it brings out a gratification because what is produced is a representation of what you put in it. And you have to know nature. You know, you got, especially in this kind of area, you know, it's not tropical, so you got to know when to plant, what to plant, or soil hold. You got to know all these things. So when you do it, and it actually you get to reap what you've planted, it's a wonderful thing. You know, it's like when you do that, it's like everything that you plant and it come up, it smiles on you. You know, so it's not like a person. You know, it's a set of laws that you're following and if you follow them right, they reward you. You know, so that is most. I remember that more so than any other thing in my life, other than I guess you say the real nitty gritty of what, you know, who I am and why I'm here and what happened to bring it to this point. But as far as people or going to school, I went to high school, you know, elementary school, high school. I remember a few people. However, everyone that, when I was going to school, I was always told that I was very different. And I don't mean different in a way where most people say, well, you know, he's different. Not that kind of way. Right. They could never describe the difference. They just liked it, right, you know. And at the time, by me growing, I couldn't describe it either. It was just me. So I didn't know how to describe it, have any comparison of this world, okay, and how I really am, like you say, made up genetically. Right. So I had to grow into that understanding to be able to associate it in such a way and explain it where it could be understood. So.
Was racism a factor that you had to contend with growing up? And if so, how did you find yourself dealing with that reality?
Well, racism, I experienced it through conversation. For the man that I worked with, he was Caucasian, and the farm that I worked on, my dad had a farm, and it was very small. So I could work the Caucasian's farm and come home at night and work my dad. Right. So you know, it wasn't very big. However, I would hear how he talked about the people, you know, our people, black people in our community. He would be talking to me or talking to his family, whatnot. He'd be talking about the black people in the community, and it was, you know, it was always very negative. So when he would refer himself or refer the idea to me, and I'd ask him a few questions, then he would say, "Roy, you'll see. You know, you're just young, you don't know, whatnot. You're not like the rest of them." And I would say to myself, you know, what do you mean them? I am one of them, you know. However, as far as his treatment